Hey, this is Aaron from AaronOnAutos.com, and today I'm going to do a shaky cam interior walkthrough of the 2021 Volvo V90. This particular one is the T6 all-wheel drive package. It is basically the top of the line, as high as it gets in terms of equipment and everything else in this particular line for the Volvo. The V90 was completely remodeled for 2018, and this year gets a couple of refresh and a little bit of package shuffling, but what I'm showing you is the best you can get, just FYI. Later on we'll talk about the Monroney. I'll show you that and the price tag on this, which is not bad considering all the equipment. So let's just get started. Over here you got windows and stuff. Up here, the mirror adjustments. You push the button, you move it, right? This is window and also child door locks. So when you push that and activate it, now the child door locks and all that are on. Do that and they're off. Up here you got memory settings. Here's your door locks and of course the door handle and the first of that wood inlay. This is faux wood. I don't believe it's real. It feels like plastic when you knock it, but it's beautiful. Really pretty. It goes really well with this chrome and stuff. Bowers and Wilkins. Can't go wrong there either. All right, over here, just a couple buttons. Here's your brightness controls for your instruments, and here is your rear hatch. This is an automated hatch, so open and close. As far as I know, that is actually standard. So all of them, all the hatches on any model of the T6 are automated. First to the vents right here. Pretty easy to operate. Move it around like this. Turn it like this, and to fully open and close, and then move it around like this. Then that's about it there, and you can see more of that inlay moving across. It goes all the way around the car in just a beautiful pattern. I love that. So good looking. Now, looking at the steering wheel here, over here is cruise control stuff, with the exception of these two things are part of the driver assistance systems. So I'll show you that. Actually, I'll just show it to you right now because it's going to get too complicated to try to explain it later. So you can see you can set and or reset here. So the way that this cruise control works, you turn it on with that. When you turn it on, whatever speed you're going, it will automatically say that that is your setting right now. You can change it in increments of 5, pushing up and down on these. If, however, you have your foot on the accelerator and you're moving and you push either of these, especially this one, because that's the one I've done it with the most, it will take that as your speed. So if you want to be going, say, 77, you can set it for 75, or hit this when you're on the on-ramp or something and you're at about 65, or you just merged in or whatever, and now you want to bump it up, so you bump it up to 75 using this, tap it 3-4 times. And then you can just use your foot to go up a little bit and hit it again, and there you go. And then these are following distance. Now these two buttons, I want you to look right there. So you can see that it's showing you basically what to do. There's the cruise control button, and then this is the signal for these two buttons right here. So if I push the right button, it goes to the pilot assist. Pilot assist basically holds you in the center of the lane. It is easy to do. It works pretty well. If you're going through construction zones and stuff, you do want to turn it off. So that's the pilot assist. If you turn it off by going back to this, which is just adaptive cruise control. So it's basically a toggle. So right now it's in just cruise control. I push this over. It is now pilot assisted cruise control, which means it is keeping the center of that lane and does, like I said, a good job of it. So that's how that works. It only took me a second to realize what was going on after I hit the button going, I wonder what this is for, because that's what I do. Over here you got voice control, which works pretty well in this car, and I would suggest getting good at using this because the infotainment does have quite the learning curve. I'll talk more about that later. This is driver information menus, so menus will pop up when you push this, and then you can go through and do stuff. This is mostly infotainment controls, but you also control driver information if you're doing this. So this is track skipping. This goes up and down in menus. This selects. Pretty simple system, and this part you do get used to fairly quickly. Now over here, first of the dongles, this is for washer wipers. So back and forth, pull it towards you to squirt the front, push it back to squirt the back. Use these, I'll just show you that button. Use these to run the back washer. So this is like a one-off run, and then it just runs dun, 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 in a cadence. This runs it intermittently to match whatever this is set for, and then in the middle is off. So if you have the intermittent wiper set for really slow or really aggressive, this will match that in the back. To set the actual wipers, it's just up and down. So you can see one off is down like that, off, and then intermittent, and then speeds as you go up. So easy, nice. Over here, this switch is a little more complex. So you can see I got the lighting on auto. I can move this around and change the lighting. Then you've got this right here is a push button that sets your fog lamps. And then you got signal turns up and down. You got brights back and forth. And then over here you have a reset button. That reset button is for the trip. So when you have the trip on, you can reset the trip using that button. So that's it. That's it for the steering wheel. Now looking at the instrument cluster. So over here you have your speedometer, and you can see down here there is a setting to change this to kmph if you want the Canuck miles per hour. Down here, this uses the camera that's behind that rear view mirror up top to read street signs and tell you the speed limits. It's usually accurate. There are exceptions. It doesn't do school zones. It just assumes it's 20 miles an hour no matter what, you know, because it's reading that 20 mile per hour sign and doesn't read the exceptions. It did have a couple of problems in a couple of construction sites just because the signs weren't sitting flat. They were on some sort of angle or blowing a little bit because they're mounted to something. But the majority of the time, 95% of the time, this is accurate. This I already showed you. This is just your trip and so forth down there. Up here on top, you can see outside temperature. Pretty warm day for the middle of the winter. We're going to be at 50 today. You can see what the last thing that I did was those child locks, and then you just see some other information across here. Park brake is set and so forth. Over on the right hand side, you've got the tachometer there. This is your gearing. Now you can force the gearing to shift, and you can see this pattern is what's actually on the shifter. So if you shift down to drive and then shove it over, you can manually select your gears. Down here is your fuel. So right now I am under half a tank, getting close to a quarter of a tank. And then you can see this is how many miles are left on the fuel. This is my average miles per gallon. Now that is for the entire time I've been in this car, because I don't use that when I do my highway mileage tests. When I do those, I do it all on paper. I top the tank off, I do the run, I top the tank off, I do the math based on how much I pumped in. So this is just my average for the entire time I've had the car. Considering how much city driving I've done and how high speed the freeways are here at 80 miles an hour, and also that a lot of my trip, a huge chunk of it, was driving down to Denver to go to the airport and coming back, which meant a bunch of construction zones and a lot of other stuff. So pretty good fuel economy, I would say, considering all of that stuff. 21 miles per gallon is nothing to shake a stick at in a car like this, especially with that giant Yakima thing, storage thing on top, which kills the, you can hear it, you can hear the wind against it driving this car. So yeah, considering that big thing up there killing the aerodynamics, it's pretty good fuel economy. My actual number on the freeway was just a couple miles under the EPA rating when I did my loop. So that's a good thing. Most of that I chalk up to that, and also to crosswinds because it's Wyoming in the winter. So there you go. That's the instrument cluster. Now, looking at the infotainment, you can see more of that, like, I just love this wood. I can't talk about it enough. And then the Bowers and Wilkins system is just a beautiful, beautiful system. And now this infotainment screen, it's a nice big tablet-sized screen. That should be your first clue. Because it is shaped like a tablet and looks like a tablet, you actually operate it like a tablet. So you can see the little dots up there. This is like the main menu. If you push this button, you end up right here. Now I can swipe right? I can swipe right, and I can look at these are all like driver settings and stuff like that. You can fold the rear headrests in case you want to set those seats down. You can look at your cameras, all that kind of stuff. That's all right here. You can page up a little bit. There's more of it. Just to quickly point out, if I can see it on here, the head-up display. You toggle it on and off with this, but that's not the only place with head-up display stuff. Up here is head-up display adjustments. If you want to move it up and down and stuff, you do that here. You do not do it in the vehicle menus, which are on a completely different screen right here. In this one, my first inclination was to come over to this one. I think it was, yeah, and go to the car status, and then, you know, go through looking for settings for the vehicle. There is some of that, but the only thing you can change is the information on that head-up display. You don't change where it's positioned. You do that from the other one. So most of this is pretty straightforward. You can connect via Bluetooth using that, or you can do, you know, all these other things. You can see what they are. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, they're both in here. I just swiped right past them. And then this again, so if I'm over here and I push this button, I end up with this menu. You can change what's on this screen in the settings. I don't know why you would. This, I think, is a pretty intuitive setup. You can see there's some messages, you know, car status stuff, if there's anything, any problems with the car. If I had my phone connected, I turned off Bluetooth for this recording, but your phone connected would show your phone status and stuff right here, and you would also across here see, you know, your data and all of that stuff that you see on your phone screen. So beautifully done. I really like this screen, but there is a learning curve. It does take a while to learn some of this stuff. Little things like there's no button over here to answer the phone. You have to wait for the pop-up and push the answer or reject on here. I find that annoying. I think it really should have been done. Most of your climate stuff is done here. Seat heating and cooling is right here, so you can see that. This has the massaging seats. You do not control that from here. You control it from the side of the seat. There's a little round button. Feels like a lumbar adjustment, but what it's actually doing is turning the massage on and off, and then a screen comes up like so. Let me push the button. A screen comes up like so, and you can go up and down and change all this stuff and turn it on and off toggling. I like the seat massage in this, but but it is an expensive add-on. So now down here you have some hard controls. Here's your defrost right here. Here's your Duke lights right there. This rewinds and this fast forwards. This pauses and plays. So right now I have this pausing that radio station right there. And then these are, that's a mic in, and that's auxiliary in case, I guess, maybe they had something they may or may not want to add eventually. Now under here, there's a bougie cover for this. Under here you got your cigarette lighter plug-in, and you got this little spot right here, which I haven't really used for anything. I put like an ID card here at one point, and that was about it. Then you have your shifter here. Pattern is the same as what it was on the front top screen in the tachometer, so you can see how you shift. This is a wireless phone charger. My phone needs to sit all the way up, pushing against this for the charging to work. My wife's phone's the other way. It needs to be further down because the charge point is somewhere, you know, different on the phone. But using those two as an example, this is a good surface. It's a good spot, and your phone doesn't move. This is really tacky rubber, so your phone doesn't move around. Now, first of the oddities. This is a Volvo thing. This is the start stop. You turn it like a key. So you turn it to start it, you turn it to shut it off. Right here is drive modes. In this particular model, that doesn't mean much. You basically have snow mode, weather mode, everything else. So you really don't change it much. Parking brake, pull to set, push to release. This is the auto stop start right here, so you can toggle it on and off. This is the drink holders. You can see they're very good size and they work really well. And then if I can get that, I couldn't get it with just that. So you push it, it goes all the way up. So you can have all of this closed like that. Really pretty. I love this wood. I can't say that enough times. I'm just going to keep harping on it. So there you go with that. And then in here's a little bit of storage, not a whole lot. And there's a plug here somebody left behind for their whatever device. There's a couple of USBs in there. So if you do charge by USB, you're covered right there. Let me have some coffee. Need another quick. It's been a long couple days. Getting a lot of work done and doing a lot of driving. So there you go. You can see yourself on the camera. Hi. I didn't feel like mounting a GoPro on the window. So over, you can just see the beauty, and you can see the seating here. This is my wireless mic set, sorry. But you can see the seating is really pretty. This is, I believe, Alcantara leather with the perforations and everything. These are heated and cooled. And then this has the rubber floor mats, which is an option. The back seat, a little bit dirty because my kids have been back there, but nice and accommodating. It is a little bit small, but I will also point out, I want to show you something. I love this about Volvo. So if you grab this little latch and you push that up, built-in booster seat. How cool is that? As far as I know, only Volvo does that. That is cool, and then the latch is easy to get to. Built-in window shades in the back. The cargo space is good. I'll show you the cargo space. I really like that. It's bigger than it looks, and it accommodates a lot of stuff. And then the roof rack, of course, is a big bonus. And the Yakima add-on, if you happen to be doing a road trip, that's a good thing to have. We didn't really use it this week, but it's nice to have that. And that's about it. This is just a nicely done vehicle. I like Volvo in general. I really like this car because I'm a big fan of station wagons. So I will admit there probably is some bias there. But this drives very well. Feels really good. It's always confident. It's just nicely done. So that's what I got. This has been Aaron sitting in the 2021 Volvo V90. Talk to you again soon.
Subscribe.